Good afternoon, everybody, and I welcome you all warmly to this panel discussion. We have with us here a team of experts from the industry, and I am humbled to be moderating such erudite individuals. So without further ado, let's jump straight into our first question. So here we go. How would you define a modern digital enterprise? What are the attributes of a truly modern digital enterprise?
Thank you for that question. I will give you the attributes, the outcomes, so you can work backwards towards it in your own processes, your own way. But I feel every company is very unique. So if I just give you a definition that might not fit into your company, your culture, the way you run the company. So the attributes, one that we found was a real digital company can do work from home. And that's something that we found out post the pandemic. As Winston Churchill has said, that every crisis, don't let it go waste. And that's really helped us to go digital. Because work from home, you have to be digital. That's the way work from home functions. So that's one of the things that if your employees can work from home, you are one of the attributes you're meeting is digital. The other thing is paperless. You cannot call yourself a modern digital enterprise if you're not paperless. And those are the things that leads to then automation, because if you're doing work from home, you're going paperless, that leads to a lot of automation. So the test, I would say, is work from home. If you're able to pass that test, if you're able to go paperless, you can do automation. Those are the attributes, traits of a modern digital enterprise.
The next question we have is more, now we are getting into the details. Like so far we have discussed the top end of the layer, but now we go into the details. How can healthcare and pharma sector enhance customer experience and innovation through adaptive and intelligent solutions?
Yes, I can take that, Mr. Gandhi. So I feel the best customer experience provided so far in the entire ecosystem is Amazon. Right? So I don't think anyone can beat them in customer service, and just so easy, 2 clicks and you're done. Right? So the entire supply chain digitalization and making it fast, if that can be applied in our healthcare industry, which is still not it's not digitalized like what Amazon is. And if you look at, that's the reason of this gap. You have the 1mg, PharmEasy kind of companies coming into it to make the customer experience much more satisfying. So definitely there is the order management part, right? That can really make the customer experience more satisfying. And that's why we have started order management where our customers can place the order online. They can get alerts when same process we have followed as Amazon. So I think, why should you reinvent the wheel? Why should you just think of a whole process again? The Amazon process is beautiful, and we have replicated that in our order management. So the same process, you get an email alert, or when the shipment is sent out, you get an update on the shipment status, etc. So I think the order management process can really increase the customer satisfaction in the supply chain. For us, another thing important is service management, right? So we have a lot of analyzers out in the market, and analyzers require a lot of service compared to a product. So analyzer service management is something that really increases customer satisfaction in our case. And that's, again, we have built a service system for it. So for example, how you have your home appliances service, right? So you get a ticket number, the ticket number is tracked, there's traceability to the ticket number. So these processes are set up and very robust in other industries. We need to adapt them for our industry, for our specifications. So I think order management, service management are two keys to, especially for us in the diagnostics industry, to create higher service delight, I would say.
Okay, moving on. Now this is interesting. What are the keys to build a paperless systems and environments, especially in healthcare and pharma sector?
So it said what the mind believes, the mind can conceive. So I think the most important thing first is to get the mindset in the organization that yes, it's possible and it's required, right? So in the future, it has to be paperless, right? If you right now you might say that no, it's not going to be paperless, but if you look at 5 years down the line, you will just be surprised that how come we didn't go paperless earlier. So the earlier you go paperless, the better it is because it increases your efficiency. You can do much more with less. You save time. You don't need to wait for people to be in office to do signatures, right? Digital signatures everywhere. Your workflow happens much faster. In the end, you end up saving so much time, right? So that mindset, the attitude is the most important. Because you might come up with policies, you might come up with SOPs, process flows, but if the mindset is not there, it won't really happen, or you won't be able to drive it through the organization. So the mindset is very important. And the best part, like what I said earlier, is work from home has itself made us way more digital than what we were a year back. And today in our office, we don't have files at all, and all our files have become paperless. So we just realized that you don't really need it anymore. And even the regulation has changed and made things allowed to be paperless now. So I think it's the right time to try paperless going ahead and build the process. Once you have the process in place, then you can go paperless and always do a pilot. Don't say, okay, I'm going to run paperless throughout the organization. For every product, I'm going to go paperless. Start it with one product, with one process, and then scale it up to the next level. So always change the mindset first. So what the mind believes, the mind can conceive, and always do a pilot.
Next question. Now, this is a technology question. It's about how will the adoption of cloud technologies in business help the healthcare and pharma sector? Thank you,
Cloud technologies has become very robust. So it has been around for a while now, and I feel in today's day and age, if you're not using cloud, you're really doing injustice to your organization. I don't think we can work today without cloud. It's like saying, I don't want to work. I want to work without a smartphone. Right? I want to work with my old phone. So cloud technology is now it has to be, or it already is in some way or another, like maybe in a small manner or a large manner. It's just about how you can increase the footprint, and cloud has to get into everything. Right? So there is no doubt about cloud becoming everything in the future. Like email is now all the part of the communication. Right? We don't send letters anymore. So cloud is going to be everything in the future. One area that has been less explored in cloud, right, I feel still, which is untapped and has a lot of potential to increase efficiency everywhere, is IoT. Right? So Internet of Things connected to cloud can be used everywhere. So now there's water filters, right, having cloud technology, air conditioners having IoT technology. And the same way, if we can just think of where in healthcare logistics, right, where you need to maintain a cold chain for your product, you can connect it through IoT and know exactly if the temperature of the product has been exposed to, if it's perishable in nature, and it might not work well if it's even exposed by a couple of degrees, a couple of hours. So cloud technology can be used there, can be used in manufacturing to know exactly what is output and how long was the machine down, etc. In our case, IoT can be used for our analyzers, right? So we have these analyzers which are sold into clinics, diagnostic chains, hospitals. If the analyzers are down, the testing doesn't happen, right? The patient doesn't get the pathology report. It's very important for the analyzers to be working 24/7. So we have started a project of IoT where we're going to connect the analyzers to the cloud, and we do predictive maintenance. Right now we are doing preventive maintenance. So an engineer goes there when the instrument is down and he tries to repair it, does the breakdown, there's a turnaround time. But if now we'll do IoT and connect the analyzers to the cloud, and we'll do predictive maintenance. So before the analyzer, the instrument becomes down and there's a breakdown, we can predict it, and that will save a lot of time. We can send the spares before the engineer visits the customer, so the time is saved in the courier time of the sending the spare parts. So these are the new opportunities in cloud, I feel, which have to be explored a lot more to increase the efficiency, to do more with less, to add more value to the customer.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Thakur. What are the benefits of employing advanced technologies like AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning, to boost efficiency in drug discovery?
To put it from another perspective, since I'm from the healthcare industry, the diagnostics industry, and not the pharmaceutical. So in our case, again, the analyzers, which I was talking about, the instruments, right? So we can do AI and ML to find out what is causing the breakdown, what are the common breakdowns, how can they be prevented. That'll increase customer delight, and it'll help the customer to give the patient reports on time, to give the correct patient reports. So it has a lot of power in that area in our industry.
Since data security is a prime concern, how can the healthcare and pharma sector improve performance with the cloud for critical applications and data?
In our case, we're not into drug discovery, so our data more we are looking at is keeping it secure and from ransomware and mainly from ransomware. So for us, when we had our data on our server, we had a tough time, right? We had to get our own firewalls, get them renewed, and keep updating them. But now we moved our data to the cloud, and I find it much safer. At least I feel it's more safer because they have the most updated firewalls and they have their security protocols. One way that I think is a good way to make a decision is to check if the service provider has the standards or the certifications. Like in Europe, you have standards right now which are in place for data security. So if they have those standards in place, they have the certifications, so that can give you some peace of mind that yes, they are following the right process, have the data security, or to protect you from ransomware. So I feel standards is something you should look for from any of your supplier who is holding your data. And there are multiple standards, like the European Union has a standard, and then there's an ISO standard also that is followed.
How can the healthcare and pharma sector build on sustainability with end-to-end support? I'll repeat the question. How can the healthcare and pharma sector build on sustainability with end-to-end support?
I feel your system should be support free, right? So you should build the system so that in the future it doesn't require support and it's robust enough to work, for the years to come, so that the future employees or the future stakeholders don't have to end up paying for the mistakes or paying for wrong architecture or wrong processes which were built early on. So when you're building a system, just think of how it can be sustainable and audit-proof, right? And will not require any basic architectural changes. So it becomes sustainable for years. It can just be advanced or add more features, but will not need architectural changes. So this will make it sustainable so that even the future employees, the future team, the future stakeholders come in, they just plug and play and they can just go ahead.
What are the keys to drive innovation with reduced data footprint?
So I would say automation, right? So wherever you can look at automation, so that can reduce your needs for like data that you need to transfer somewhere and print it out. And just think about print is not an option. If you just think like in the future, printing will not be an option, right? Then how do you do it, right? So just think of it like that, and then you will come up with a solution automatically. You think of the end goal, and then you work backwards. The ones which come to top of my head, it was once we had a ransomware on a server when we had a physical server. It was attacked, and once our website was attacked, and it changed into some characters. So these are the two experiences. So out of this, I found that once we shifted our data on the cloud, it helps because the people on the cloud have way advanced, latest firewalls, better security systems. So now we don't even think of our server data getting ransomware, etc. And on the website again, we told our person who's posting it to put on firewalls, etc., to protect the website. So I think again you have to depend on a lot of people outside the company, right? Your suppliers who are providing you solutions, and you discuss with them if they are meeting those standards, right? There are very fixed standards on cybersecurity, right? As a layman, I'll just ask, okay, are you meeting the European Union standard, or are you meeting the ISO standards for cybersecurity? I'm not aware of any Indian standards, but I think you might throw some more light on that if there are any Indian standards on this.
Ravi, Abhinav, and Vilas, thank you so much, sirs. It's been a pleasure interacting with you today. And we look forward to seeing you again, interacting with you again at some future point of time.